The bridge of the Aetherion thrummed with quiet intensity. Every station glowed softly, every crew member locked in old hands and new faces alike watching the same tactical hologram that now dominated the center of the chamber. The swarm scouts had stopped pretending to be patient. They were moving again, not in a swarm yet, but in coordinated waves, small clusters breaking off, probing different vectors, testing angles the Aetherians' passive shields hadn't yet covered. 41 hours had shrunk to 38. Time was bleeding fast. Jack stood at the forward viewport, arms crossed, staring into the black. The neutral station's exclusion zone was already far behind them. Kaylee's drift had become a fading point of light on the rear sensor's safe, neutral, irrelevant now. They couldn't risk docking again. Not with the swarm scenting blood and Vex likely screaming for every Zorth warship within jump range. Captain, Rico called from tactical. Scout clusters Alpha through Delta are accelerating. They're trying to box us cut off our direct line to the nearest jump point. On the hollow, four green tendrils stretched outward like grasping fingers, curving to envelop the Aetherian's projected path. Behind them, the main swarm mass loomed a slowly pulsing cloud of organic signatures, still hours distant, but growing larger with every update. Jax turned. Options. Lena answered first, fingers dancing across nav. We can punch straight through the gap between Alpha and Beta. Risky acid projectors will have clear shots, but it's the fastest route to the jump beacon. Or we loop wide, burn extra time, lose them in the asteroid belt at grid 7-3. Gives us cover, but adds 6 hours. 6 hours we don't have, Sophia said quietly from secondary tactical. She had taken to the station like she'd flown it for years. They'll have a main body on us by then. Zira Keth, the Vexery pilot, clicked her mandibles. I know swarm patterns. They're not just chasing, they're hurting. They want us to take the straight path. They've seeded microspores along that vector. Invisible until we hit them. Then the acid comes in waves. Jax looked at her. You've seen this before? Lost my entire wing to it once, Zira said. They let one ship through. The rest died watching. Silence for a heartbeat. Jax nodded. Then we don't take the straight path. And we don't lose 6 hours. He walked back to the captain's chair, but didn't sit. Instead, he leaned over the central console. Sentinel, do we have access to the old evasion protocols from Captain Kane's era? The robot rolled closer. Affirmative. Protocol, said Erebus Omega, contains 74 documented high-threat escape maneuvers developed during the initial swarm incursions. 31 remain viable with current hardware. Show me the ones rated for superior acceleration and shield asymmetry. A sub-hologram ballooned dozens of glowing trajectory arcs, color-coded by risk and success probability against known swarm behaviors. Jack scanned them quickly. His finger traced one in particular. A tight corkscrew followed by a sudden vector flip, using the ship's gravitic drive to slingshot around an imaginary point in space. Erebus Omega 19, he said. Grav-slingshot feint. High risk, high reward. We fake the straight run, let them commit, then flip and burn perpendicular. Use the momentum to jump early. Rico frowned. We'd be jumping blind. No beacon lock. Could spit us out anywhere inside a star. In the middle of a nebula, who knows? Better than being eaten, Jax replied. Sentinel probability of success. Against current scout density and known swarm response patterns. 78% survival to jump. 64% clean emergence within 5 light years of intended exit. Risk factors. Shield overload during flip maneuver. Possible structural strain at 87% engine overboost. Mia looked up from engineering. We could take the overboost. Core's still running cool. I can shunt auxiliary power to the grav plates for the flip, but we'll be blind for 3 seconds during the transition. No sensors, no shields. 3 seconds in combat was an eternity. Jax met the eyes of every crew member and turned old and new. Then he straightened. Do it. Plot Erebus Omega 19. Full tactical alert. All hands brace for high G. Alarms sounded soft chimes, not the screaming klaxons of the Endurance. The ship itself seemed to tighten bulkheads sealing, gravity compensators humming louder. Lena laid in the course, executing in 30 seconds. First phase, straight burn toward the gap. Make them think we're desperate. The deck pressed upward as engines ramped. Stars stretched forward. The Aetherion accelerated smooth, relentless, far beyond anything the old scout ship could have dreamed. On the hollow, the swarm scouts reacted instantly. Clusters Alpha and Beta surged to close the gap. Acid projectors lit green pulses streaking toward them. Shields taking hits, Rico reported. Void layer absorbing 92%. Minor ablation on outer plating. Hold course, Jax ordered. The ship flew straight into the narrowing corridor between the two clusters. Acid splashed across the shields in sheets hissing, sizzling against the blue barrier. The bridge lights flickered once. 20 seconds to flip point, Lena called. Jax gripped the armrests. Engineering ready to shunt. Mia's voice was steady. Shunt primed. Grav plates at 110%. We'll feel it. 10 seconds. The swarm scouts committed. More clusters peeled off to block retreat. They thought they had the trap closed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 flip. Mia slammed the override. The universe twisted. Grav plates fired in opposing sequence. The Aetherian's nose pitched up violently while the tail dropped, then the entire mass rotated 90 degrees in less than a second. Inertial dampers screamed. Crew members were pressed hard into their seats. Loose objects rattled. Sensors blanked. Shields collapsed for exactly 3 heartbeats. Darkness. Silence. Only the roar of blood in ears. Then reality snapped back. Stars reappeared, different alignment. The swarm clusters were suddenly behind them, confused, turning too slowly. Jump coils charged. Lena shouted. Beacon ignored manual vector set. Jumping in 5. The swarm realized too late. Acid lances stabbed toward the new heading, but the Aetherion was already folding space. A ripple tore across the viewport. Reality folded. Jump. Silence again, this time the clean, absolute quiet of hyperspace. Streaks of rainbow light washed over the hull. No alarms. No impacts. They were through. Jax exhaled long and slow. Status, he said quietly. Rico checked tactical. No pursuit signatures in hyperspace. They can't follow this fast. We're clear for now. Mia leaned back, wiping sweat. Structural integrity, 94%. Minor microfractures on grav plate housings. Nothing critical. Core stable. Zira's wings fluttered in relief. They'll be furious, but they'll have to regroup. We bought time. Dax, who had said almost nothing during the maneuver, finally spoke. Where are we coming out? Lena pulled up the NAV projection. Rough estimate. 3.2 light-years spinward of the original beacon. Uncharted sector. No major signals yet. Could be empty, or could be something else. Jax nodded. Something else is fine, as long as it's not swarm. He looked around the bridge. Every face showed exhaustion and something harder. Pride. They had pulled off a maneuver designed 5,000 years ago against the same enemy. And they had won. Secure from condition 2, Jax ordered. Rotate rest shifts. Engineering patch those fractures. Tactical keep passive scans running even in hyperspace if we can. Nav start looking for that core ward signal Kane mentioned. Weak or not, I want a bearing. Murmurs of acknowledgement. Sophia caught Jax's eye. You flew that like you'd done it before. Jax gave a small, tired smile. First time, but the ship remembered. He placed a hand on the armrest. The chair seemed to warm slightly under his palm. The Aetherion hummed, on carrying 10 souls now. A ghost from the deep past, racing toward an uncertain future. Behind them, the swarm seethed. Ahead, faint and far, a signal pulsed. Old, human, waiting. They've escaped the immediate trap with a daring ancient maneuver, but they're now in uncharted space with no clear destination. The core ward signal beckons like a lighthouse in fog. Rest is temporary. What will they find when they drop out of hyperspace? And is the swarm already adapting to their new tricks?